So he tell me like the Cube shirt. So I said, okay, white man, what group was Cube in? He was like, you don't think I know? He was in NWA.
He could have fucked you up though, because he could have said West Side Connection.
That would have blew my whole.
That would have blew your whole mind. And you'd be like, hey, you're right.
I might have let him say niggas with attitude if he'd have said that.
You're right, white man. He wasn't West Side Connection.
I might let him go ahead and say niggas with attitude after that. But
shit, he's in another group too, because that's a group with him, E40 and Snoop.
Oh yeah?
I don't know the name of it, but that was the last album I heard he was on.
E40 got a Tiny Desk out right now. Tiny Desk concert.
I have no interest in that. Yeah, no.
I'm just saying. It sounded raw. I've
never heard a E40 record other than Tell Me to Go.
Really?
I've never heard another E40 record.
Damn. So you don't fuck with none of them Bay niggas?
Who are the Bay niggas? Mozzie. I fuck with Mozzie. But is he Bay or he Sacramento?
I don't know. Well, I mean the older Bay niggas, like
Too Short.
40 Short.
Oh, Too Short got a movie coming out too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Him.
Bitch.
Him 40 and what's his name? Going on tour. DJ Quick.
No, bless their hearts.
Yeah.
So one, the young boy is playing Too Short in the movie. The young rapper boy. What's his name? What's the young rapper that's from the Bay that's can fly? He can rap. He can really rap.
Oh, he playing who?
He playing Too Short, and he looks like Too Short when they put it together.
Nah, I'm thinking about the dude from LA that could rap on some, and he like super independent. I don't know.
Yeah, him. No.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about him.
Yeah.
No. That's like Jesus rap to me.
Jesus rap?
LaRussell? That's borderline gospel rap.
Gospel rap?
It is. He's like before to me. I've heard probably one record. It's gospel backyard rap. I love his hustle. I ain't gonna lie to you. But it might as well be Christian rap to me.
All right, Christian rap. I don't know who you're talking about though. But what about?
I think his name, man. He can rap too, man.
Okay, you say he's playing who?
He's playing Too Short in the. It's a Too Short movie coming out.
Okay.
Independent, but everybody from the Bay is independent. You know what I mean? But I guess you could say as far as that, like, what branch of California is that? What do they call that? Like Sacramento, the Bay.
That's Northern California.
Northern California. As far as that Northern California rap go, the only one I've ever really rocked with is Mozzie, other than Too Short. Mm-hmm. And Too Short was probably just a novelty because at that time when he was, met this bitch. Simba, yeah.
The movie is called Freaky Tales.
Freaky Tales, yeah.
In the upcoming movie Freaky Tales, rapper Too Short is portrayed by Simba in the role of his younger self, set in 1987 Oakland.
87 was a good year.
What happened in 87?
86, 87 might be one of the best years in hip hop.
Time out.
Y'all don't know that because y'all young.
I want you to get back to that, but it says, Too Short makes a cameo in the film and narrates the story. Freaky Tales is based on the iconic 1980s Bay Area hip hop basketball scene and includes a cameo by Tom Hanks.
For why?
I can't imagine.
For why?
The hip hop Bay Area 80s scene, including Tom Hanks and basketball scene.
Hey man, salute it.
Maybe he was a coach. Maybe he was the gym teacher.
Yeah, the Bay got a wild culture.
Shout out to Tom Hanks though. He called white people on this shit.
Yeah, Tom Hanks got a white son rapper that think he black too though.
Really?
Yeah, he's like known for this.
Okay.
Like wild shit too. One of them white boys that say nigga under that act. And I know we had the intro and all that.
Nah, go ahead.
You peeped it. Fat Joe and Jadakiss got a podcast.
Yeah, I seen it.
So I've never watched it. I'll never watch it because I don't like Fat Joe. I don't fuck with Fat Joe. Fat Joe's a racist in my mind.
Yeah.
But he done said some other wild shit on that podcast in context to this kind of racist shit that he always gets away with. Why do we keep letting this man say wild shit, y'all?
I think when you say we, you got to put it in context. I think it would start in New York. And I think they do it because culturally New York is different in that everybody live on the same fucking block. So whereas we grew up, and we've said it many times on the show, growing up in the 80s and 90s Chicago, if you didn't want to see somebody who didn't look like you, you didn't ever have to. Like, if I saw a white person on 71st and Jeffrey, I knew they were a cluck, like certified. It's a little different now in most of the neighborhoods, but for the most part, Chicago has always been that segregated, whereas New York, the Puerto Ricans, the Jamaicans, the Haitians, the blacks, they all on the same fucking block, so they talk the same, they carry it the same, and they don't think nothing about it. they really like, no, we grew up with Joey since we was 5. That's Fat Joe. That's Joey. You know what I mean?
Fuck that.
And then I'm saying because New York is also the mecca of hip hop, he gets on in hip hop, and then it just kind of extrapolates outward. And then in a place like Chicago, I can see where that don't go because we not really like that.
Yeah, I ain't with it. And I think even within the context of those groups, there's racism within those groups.
Sure.
Right? The dark-skinned Puerto Rican versus the light-skinned Puerto
Sure.
Rican. You know what I mean? So when you get to spewing words like, not just words like nigga, but having the ideas that back your racist thoughts, somebody got to stop that man, G.
No, I hear you, but he on a podcast with Kiss, and Kiss from New York too.
Mm-hmm. Kiss gonna fuck his brand up. I like Kiss, but you sitting there next to that nigga's gonna make me think different about you.
Well, I think Kiss is on such a run right now since the fucking Versus that has brought the Locks back to prominence in a way that they hadn't had in a long time. Like, them niggas went on tour. Shit, I saw them when they came here on their tour. Them Locks has, they can't keep them in stock. So they selling them motherfuckers $50, $70 a pop, whatever it is, all over the fucking world now. And
that
now
don't justify you sitting next to a Klansman.
What I'm saying is Kiss is on his.
I'm just saying.
Kiss, a Klansman is wild.
He a Klansman.
That's wild.
What's the Puerto Rican word for Klansman? Is there a language for Puerto Rico? Just saying.
Niggas speak Puerto Rican.
They speak Puerto Rican over there. Puerto Klansman.
And he's racist.
Ku Klux Puerto Rico.
Ku Klux Puerto Rico. Something's wrong with you, man. Anyway, I just think that Kiss is on his cash out. You know what I'm saying? He on his back end and he cashing out. He on different podcasts. He even got his coffee brand up and running with his pops. His pops, you see when he was on Drink Champs? His pops came. Kiss been on there a few times, but one time his pops was there too. And his pops was like, see, this is what Kiss didn't want y'all to know.
It's a private school.
He had a father his whole life.
Yeah, with the private
school. I paid for it.
Shit he talking about.
He didn't want y'all to know that he had a father that loved him. I've been around. Like, they don't make me look crazy.
How embarrassing is that? That would piss me off. It already has pissed me off because I have a child who lives in that world.
What'd he say? From pissy hallways to palm trees.
Palm trees. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, what pissy hallway you been in, motherfucker? Dirtbag. Hard ass work I didn't work for to have your ass living
in pissy hallways.
Cushy ass living space, and you putting up pictures on Instagram talking about pissy hallways to palm trees. Boy, you shut the fuck up. What the audacity? You ain't been in a pissy hallway in your life.
What up, good people? What is happening with y'all? Hopefully y'all are feeling good. Thank y'all so very much for choosing to tune in to this edition of Herb and Two, alongside the undervalued Toussaint Warner. My name is Herb Howard. This is where we get together and talk about issues currently impacting the black community and how those issues impact us individually and also collectively. We would like your help to talk through these issues, so please leave some comments. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, set the alert so you get a reminder every time we drop new content to the page. And please, please, please share with at least one person that you think would add value to or at least find value in this particular conversation. Again, it is Herb and Two. This intellectual thuggery at its absolute finest. My name is Herb. His name is Two. Two, what's happening, good brother?
What's up, family? I'm tired, man. I'm exhausted, really. Oh, shit, it just dawned on me. This is like your second favorite month. G, what you doing for Pride? How you celebrating? How are you bringing in Pride? What are you doing?
Well, today I took a trip all the way across Foster Street, east to west. So I saw people. I saw some folks.
Wave at your folk.
I saw some.
I'm back, baby. What you talking about,
baby? First of all, I think we should start a poll or like a raffle. All the different ways that y'all think Two is going to accidentally bump into gay pride or that butt naked bicycle ride or any of this other stuff y'all heard. If y'all listen, all y'all official dirtbags have been rocking with us for years. Have heard Two tell these fantastical stories about how his ass went from Bronzeville and ended up in Boys Village somehow.
This is Boys Village?
Boys Town.
Yeah, you would know better than me. I ain't know.
Oh, no, you would know better than me. I've never been up there on the butt naked bike ride at 2 a.m.
Hey, why you bullshit though? The butt naked bike ride is not gay shit.
What?
That's not associated to Pride, is it?
First of all, it's a bunch of
white butt naked too.
It's a bunch of naked niggas on bikes at whatever time at night, and it's on
So
Belmont and Halsted.
It's no niggas. It's all white people.
Belmont and Halsted.
I mean, that shit is like 100% white people.
Tell us the rest about it too. What else?
So I don't know the details of it, but I did bump into it on my bike. You know, and I sat there in amazement watching these naked motherfuckers ride down the Vision.
3200 north from 5100 south. He just
Yes.
bumped into it.
Yes, I ride for exercise. Yes.
Yeah,
That's
I bet you'd rather get stretched out.
Yes, as you say so. Oh shit! That real story about Pride though is real, but it was wild though. The boat. This is how wild Pride is.
Right.
The butt naked bicycle ride did not impact.
Don't even compare.
And I know you making jokes, but I ran into both of them by accident. And I saw 1,000 niggas butt naked riding no bikes. That was cool. And the ran into Pride. I said, "Oh shit, what is this?"
Pride definitely be a different situation, man. If you're not familiar, it can definitely blow you. I enjoy it. It's one of my favorite. It's one of my favorite events on the Summertime Shy calendar. Yeah. I look forward to it every year.
Get your P Diddy on. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, call it what you will. I will be there. Okay, I will be there. Last year was the first time. Actually, the year before was the first time I got to do it on a float. I was throwing the beads.
You did it on the float.
I was on the float.
You did it on the float.
I participated in the parade via a float. And it was fun, man. We had like thousands of bees. I'm throwing them off. Everybody showing their boobs. I'm throwing them off. Throwing them up in people's windows.
What did the dude show you?
Huh?
What did the dude show you when you hit them with the bees?
See, the dudes don't have to show you nothing. They just out there already. They let you know. Here we go. We outside. Thonged up, G-stringed up. Dog collars on and shit. They wild out there, Jack.
Hey, how does that play into homosexuality, right? Real, I'm not even being funny no more. Like, what's up with the spikes and the belt? What kind of S&M ass shit is that?
Yeah, it's just something some people be into. I don't know, man.
It's a bunch of puffy action out there, bro.
I may or may not be into a collar leash thing here and there, but
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Hey.
I don't have a retort for that.
It's fine. I'm good with it.
Okay, let's move forward.
I'm good with it. Anyhow, only thing I don't like about Pride is that for all the things we just described that are definitely ever present at this event, there be so many kids there. And I'm like small children, all kind, and they be with their parents. Like, what? You brought your 5-year-old to this?
Your parents gay shit.
There's a grown man right next to him with his whole ass out.
That's my two daddies. What you want to do?
That's my two daddies.
Yeah. Under that act, though,
yeah.
I not a retort, but under your collar action that you like to do,
sure,
as a cut quietly at home.
You wild as hell. You wild as hell.
Whatever you into, I'm not judging, right? But
so we already know. Everybody knows now. Like after that clip went out last week from a couple shows ago, where you was championing Diddy getting another person's semen rubbed on his nipples. Once you were championing that, the clip went out. Everybody saw it.
I know, and I don't remember.
So everybody now knows you are the wildest nigga on this show.
I was the champion. That wasn't how it went. But this is in that vein, though. We did put the clip out, and I saw some of the comments on the clip.
Yeah, they like two is a wild nigga.
That's not what none of the comments I read said.
I bet you didn't read those.
But the comments that I did see were very interesting to me because they was like, hey, I'm not judging, but I've heard some wild shit, right? Shout out to C-Line from the 9. She's like, I'm not gonna say no names, but somebody with some involving throw up, right? That's disgusting. But more importantly,
you want somebody to throw up on you? I done heard all the wild stuff, man.
Wait. That's disgusting. But what it made me think of, right? Like in my other life, in my younger life,
sure,
I was a fairly popular nigga in the city. And there's like math that goes with that, right? Fairly popular niggas in the city probably know fairly popular women in the city.
Sure.
Who probably know other fairly popular niggas in the city. So, you start to play a game of bump heads and shit.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Shit happens. You know what I'm saying? And women tell on people.
They do.
All the time.
They do.
Even when you're not asking.
No, they do. They start talking about what other niggas like. He like this.
And I've heard some wild stories.
Sweetheart.
About very popular cats in this city.
I don't want to hear
been on Diddy shit way before Diddy shit.
I don't want to hear it, sweetie. I don't want to know. That's between you and him.
So, and that's kind of what the clip was insinuating, right? Yeah. Like, there's this, like, aggressive depraved sexual nature out here that people don't really be talking about. Even you made the joke like Plaza, like I thought I was a nasty nigga.
Yeah.
And that's kind of probably how we got to the Diddy conversation.
Yeah.
And my response to you was like, man, you know, you never know what somebody's doing behind closed doors.
Sure.
And what dawned on me when I made that statement, I just didn't go that far. I know women who know dudes who everybody know who do not carry it in the least amount,
right,
as sensitive, and the shit they do behind closed doors is sensitive.
It's sensitive information.
It's very sensitive.
Listen, I feel like teach his own. Do whatever you want to do in your bedroom. I just think some shit is wilder than my. I have a very vast imagination, and then stuff is beyond that. I'm like, that's insane. I never even thought about that. Like,
but it ain't about what you do, right? In my mind, at least the conversation I'm having, right? The conversation I'm having is really on some old. Like, and I say this all the time. Like, men got to have boundaries, because women are insatiable. They don't have boundaries, right? Chris Rock got the joke, like, all the nasty shit you want to do, she want to do too. You just got to say it in the right way.
Excuse me.
Yeah, you can't say excuse me. You just got to have some bass in your voice, right? And they pretty much gonna go, which kind of symbolizes their nature.
Sure.
You know what I mean? But in the confines of masculinity, you got to have some standards, B, right? And I bring this forth because back to the game of bumping heads, popular dude, popular girl, you know, vice versa. If you know you're not finna be with this woman in a way that you build some kind of a bond, she's telling on you, fam.
She's telling on you, fam.
You cannot be your full freak self, bro. Because she's gonna tell.
Yeah.
And on some mad shit, like my ego, that would cause a murder if I was that dude.
See, I think also, though, if you're going to be that level of freak and you're doing it on such a freelance kind of way, you got to be confident enough to stand on your shit. Like yeah, I'm into that, or I'm into that. Like, whether it should come out or not, if you're doing it in that manner, this ain't your partner, this ain't nobody you would trust with your motherfucking house keys, then why would you trust them with something that you don't want? You know what I mean?
But you 10 years younger than me, and I think there lies a difference.
Yeah.
I was raised in that era that whatever goes on in this house, stay at his house.
Sure, me too.
And you kind of played the rest of the world like whatever goes on in this house or whatever going on in this neighborhood, whatever going on between me and you.
Sure.
Our business is our business, and it don't go past this.
But there's an hour there. What I'm saying is, if you so willy-nilly with it that this is happening with her and whoever, there's no real expectation of what is our house? You know what I'm saying? You got to build our house. Like, we in this space together. I feel like we have our house. So some shit happened in here. I feel reasonably secure in that thing staying in here. If I'm down the hall blabbing to some other motherfucker, I don't expect, like, there's no reasonable expectation of privacy or confidence there.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I don't know. If you nailing somebody, I think the very essence of that is an hour.
That's cap.
Okay.
That's cap.
But I also think that's based in a 10-year gap.
That anybody you nail, there's a level of confidence there?
I would assume so, yeah.
Hell no, Joe.
Yeah, but again, right, I'm 10 years removed.
Sure.
So your response to that, I don't even expect it to be I do expect it to be different because I think the culture shifts.
Yeah.
Right? And I know y'all way more lenient with all, nigga, it ain't no question about it.
Keep it a bean with you. The girl I lost my virginity to when I was a shorty, I had fun for like a week. I'm over there every day, right? Learned all the new shit. After I had my week, I took like half the basketball team over there.
Yeah, y'all different. Still, even if that's the case though, it still will provide some level of confidence though. And it might be within the circle, right? What I'm saying is when the popular niggas, we in the popular nigga circle, but you ain't in my circle. We ain't friends.
Right.
So don't tell me do business.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, with her, maybe that was the difference. But I don't think y'all weren't like.
But you had train Vicks, sure. But even that was our train Vic. A great story. Here's a story about Bug.
But was there expectation of her to never ever say this this during that?
I would assume the train Vic wouldn't say she was in the train. That's what I would assume. In my day, the train Vic ain't saying, hey, niggas fuck me. And that's not going to happen, bro.
Sure about
and I wasn't in the train either, so let me clear up my own name.
Sure.
I just heard about it. I just heard it happen.
Sure about
when
the
I was
train
walking past the alley at 95th and Press.
Sure about the train piece, but before I even got to the train piece, I was just rocking out. Like, hey, look what I found. It was just me for.
But she can't never tell that back to Eris. Because then if shit ever comes back, yeah, I was number 6. And Shorty don't want that out there. So there's an hour here. We have a confidence here.
Nah,
Not that I say I know because I wasn't there. I don't know. But if that was the case, I would assume she wouldn't be wanting to tell nobody that, yeah, Jamal was number 16. No, you don't want that to happen.
I would put an hour on, like sexually hour, I would put that on like maybe 6, 7 women in my life.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. And I might be fully wrong, right? Maybe I'm just lying to myself. But they was real free with them people's information. I was like, that's interesting.
Yeah.
You know, and I looked at her crazy too.
I don't know why like some women do that. Like they just like have those types of random conversations about absolutely nothing for no reason. It has no bearing on any situation current or really past or present. It's just like, why are you telling that? Like, oh, I heard you fuck so and so. Well, that's interesting because I know for sure that I've never told anybody that I fucked so and so because we wouldn't really want nobody to know that I did that. But why did you know what I'm saying? Like, I guess niggas are guilty of that shit too, but I don't know. What was the train story with you and who?
Yeah, I wasn't there. I don't know.
Speaking of your generation, Larry Hoover's coming home, allegedly.
First of all, Larry Hoover's 87 years old.
Speaking of your generation.
I guess you're right. That's my generation.
Nah, okay. Factually, founder of the Gangster Disciples, co-founder, had his federal sentence commuted by President Trump. Larry Hoover has been locked up since 1979. He's been locked up in the feds for a 93 charge since like 97 or something like that. And they moved him out to the Supermax in Florence, Colorado, which is widely regarded as the most secure prison in the country, one of the most in the world.
Got locked up at age of 22.
Right.
I think he's what, 53 now? I mean 73 now, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
So what's that, 51 years?
Yeah. Did the stretch from 79 to 92, 93 in the state joint. But if you know state prisons and you know gang culture, he was as powerful or more inside the state penitentiary as he was out in the street. So they hit him with another murder that he ordered from prison, hit him with that murder, sent him to the feds.
So the second charge was a RICO, right? And they hit him with running the organized crime, whatever they would call it, organized crime industry or whatever. But the first charge was The first charge was a conspiracy charge, right? So even in the context of the first charge, it was conspiracy to commit 2 murders. He was only found guilty of 1. And i.e., that's conspiracy to commit. That's not saying I'm shooting people. That's saying I told somebody to shoot people, right? The guy who was the gunman in the case did whatever amount of years and has been home since for 30 plus years.
Sure.
Right? So anyway, man, like you said, the president commuted his sentence. And here's another piece of this nobody is seemingly talking about, right? And it's hard to give this guy credit, but you got to be honest with it, that Kanye West impacted this statement. He impacted this sentencing.
I mean, you had the Free Larry Hoover concert.
And he had the ear of Donald Trump. So him and Kim Kardashian talked to Donald Trump about friend Larry Hoover. And this was his first term.
Right.
And in a lot of ways, people be amazed, but he said he was going to do this shit in his first term. You know what I mean? So in a lot of ways, Trump is just following through with the shit he said he was going to do in his first term and his second term. Now, again, I'm not a Trump fan. I'm not a Trumpian. I know Trump is for the shit. But I think the entire industry of American government is for the shit. Right? So I wrote a statement about it, and I thought it was a very interesting chess move. Right? I think in this moment in time, Trump commuting that sentence, even though we got to have context of what that means, right? They're just going to move him from the Supermax closer to Illinois, or in Illinois. His family can now come see him. He's not coming home from jail. Right? I would have said, shit, I did say a couple days ago, he's not coming home from jail. I'm backing off that statement today. He's coming home from jail. But it's all political fodder. It's all political theater in my mind. There's rumors circulating that our governor wants to run for mayor. J.B. Pritzker wants to run for president. Right? So even though Trump says he's going to do these things in the beginning, it becomes a chess move now. Because after he commutes the sentence, when it comes back to the state, now that's a decision up to the governor. Right? Now, really, in my mind, all this shit is white supremacist fodder. All this shit is white supremacist mind fuckery. And it plays out in our community because it's the main conversation. I saw a Free Jeff Fort record last night. Because now it's a thing now.
Of course.
You know what I mean? But what Trump kind of does when he commutes the sentence is he puts a level of pressure on J.B. Pritzker to do something.
If he wants the black vote.
If you want the black vote, right? And we all know that, well, I don't say we all know, but consciously, black folks hold up the Democratic Party. If J.B. Pritzker does become a front runner of that, and there is this kind of looming conversation around, well, look what he did to Larry.
You're the last person in between Larry and his freedom.
You're the last person between Larry and his freedom. And that's a black eye on the government, right?
For sure.
And I heard the other day, and I'm only quoting this from Jesse Jackson Jr. Jesse Jackson Jr. said something that he tried to have a press conference around the Larry Hoover incident and how they do political fodder. He asked a lot of black representatives to stand behind him in the press conference. And not one black leader would stand behind him. Because it just don't fucking make no sense for a black leader to do this shit. But without the black leadership there, he can't play tough because he doesn't have black backing. So either you're going to let this motherfucker go or you're going to lose. Like black votes, black interests, black understanding.
You lose it.
So in that vein, I think they'll play the game. I think they'll let him. And be clear, right? I said this, and people was kind of anti what I said, but I said Larry Hoover's a political prisoner, and I still stand on that. I don't give a fuck what you think about the GD or the Gates of the Disciple Nation and the clarion call of this criminal organization. That man was railroaded. And he was railroaded for political fodder. He was railroaded to kind of shape a narrative of the super black predator. Right? The man who actually killed the human being that y'all found him guilty for has been home 30 plus years. Larry Hoover is 73 years old. I'm hearing rumors through the grapevines. He suffers from dementia. And that shit is happening in where's it in Colorado?
Yeah, Florence, Colorado.
That shit is a 23-1, bro. That shit is that's torture, brother.
It's hard. Listen, if you've been 23-1 since the late 90s, mid to late 90s, who the fuck can tell dementia from I've been 23-1 for 30 years? Is it dementia? Is he crazy? He's been in the fucking closet by himself for 99% of his time for the last 30 years. Like, who the fuck knows? I imagine all them niggas is talking crazy and forgetting and can't remember what was real and what was some shit they made up to pass the time. Like, it's inhumane, number one. But number two, just on the him coming back to Illinois piece, I think if he gets back to Illinois, he'll be home soon enough. And I agree with you on the political shit, and I do want to address that. But I think if he gets to Illinois, he'll be home soon enough, even if it's on some
political fodder,
on some mental health, put him in the hospital, put him on, you know what I mean, that type of situation. So I think if he gets to Illinois, he'll be home somewhere or another soon enough. Now, on the political piece, I agree. I think him, Jeff Ford, I think all of them was political. It was black men with too much power, so to speak. And I addressed that on the previous show of some power versus security shit, but it was just too much. So the politics of it demanded, go get them. Go get them niggas right now and put them far, far away from here. And I get it on some political shit. I get it on some white power shit. But now you're talking about old men and let them go.
Yeah, I'm with that too, man. I think they should be home. Larry for sure.
I mean, look. They got Jeff Ford caught up on some Contra bomb missiles, like, you know what I mean? Like,
selling missiles to Libya.
Yeah, come on, man. Like, You think a nigga from Woodlawn could just do that on his own?
Maybe not on his own. But if you put enough elbow grease in there,
a nigga.
You see, I stay very quiet.
A nigga just be on the phone with Gaddafi like, hey, let me get one of them.
Folks.
Let me get one. What? You are well self. Let me get a missile. What? Like, no, G, no.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, G.
I don't know.
No, G.
I don't know, Herb.
They just sent him one of these with a fucking
brother. So let me tell you this. These are not your. So this kind of is counter the point I'm trying to make in the first statement. These ain't regular corner boys, right? But this is also, it's still political for me, right? Both of them boys, one, they students of one another. Larry was, people think Larry was one of the Stones. He was never one of the Stones, right? But he was one, this is some old 1950 ass names. It's something like somebody Gents, which was very anchored into kind of Stone philosophy and culture, right? But all that shit comes up under Fred Hampton Jr. All that shit comes up under the Civil Rights Movement. All that shit comes up under, that's what I mean. Fred Hampton Sr. I'm sorry. All that shit comes up under Stokely Carmichael. It comes up under the order of the day, right? And people always lose fucking context of the order of the day, right? This was open air warfare.
Sure.
That's what this was. This ain't the Today shit. This is Martin comes here and a band of white folks come out with the mission to attempt to kill Martin Luther King, and Jeff Fort shows up as protector. So when you in the essence of that energy, you move, think specifically if you have that mindset, you move, think very militant, very like the news interview we always reference when Jeff says ain't gonna be no killing without no killing. But killing was a very real possibility, right? The essence of my existence can resolve into some killing because it's me.
It's what it is.
It's what it is, right? So when you think about, I don't know if you old enough to even remember this, but right now where them beautiful ass homes are right there on 39th and Oakwood, right on that fucking corner was what they called the Fort. It was like home base for the L. Rookins and Jeff Fort.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
And I don't know how true this is, but there's rumors that there are tunnels built from that fucking corner to where the Ida B's was, right? Underground tunnels,
not a huge jump.
Guns, right? It might be a good, if you do the math, it might be what, 6
yards?
Blocks, 7 blocks to the Ida B's. Ida B's is, if we be honest,
39th. That's where Mariano's is at.
Ida B's is that field back behind,
all the way through.
So if you go all the way to the corner of 39th and Cottage and Oakwood, you get about 5 blocks,
and then you get to 37th. Yeah,
like 5 blocks.
Yeah.
To do that, to build underground tunnels 5 blocks with context is everything. Being a young nigga from Woodlawn who couldn't read, you a cold motherfucker, bro.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
You a cold motherfucker. So I wouldn't put too much shit past a motherfucker who would have thought that through and actually did it. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
Not like, I got an idea.
Sure.
No, nigga, he did it.
Sure.
You understand what I'm
Sure,
saying?
G.
So, and I'm not even putting that on criminality. I'm saying the gumption to build.
And you talking about wartime, you talking about cats returning home from military and all that with different connections and all that shit. I can see it, but I don't see it without any government cooperation, G.
I know they absolutely had government cooperation. This is not even mythical. This happened. Right? If you know the story, I can't even think of the name of it though. It was an actual like a 513, a philanthropic group that Jeff Fort was the head of. That's why you see them pictures of him at the White House. They gave him $1 million.
I know.
In 1960 something. So you equate the value of $1 million in 1960 something.
This is political, G.
Surely. That's where the guns came from. That's where the drugs came from. University of Chicago played their hand in it. There's books written about this shit. They hid their drugs and guns in University of Chicago temples because police can't come onto church properties. Right. So it's no question about they were aiding and abetting. So even if we talking RICO, because they love to throw the RICO around.
Come on.
Right? How the fuck does University of Chicago exist today? Because it's noted that if Jeff is in prison,
then so should the president of the University of Chicago at that time. The dean
of this college or the bishop of this church, because they all were part of it. You know what I mean? But it's their rules. Right? But that's kind of why I wrote what I wrote.
Don't try to throw Bishop Brazier in prison. I heard that.
He part of it too.
Don't try to throw Bishop
Brazier part of it too. I got family members that was part of it who are well known and notable, but I ain't gonna say their name. They wasn't gonna. I don't think they should be part of it.
And we had Bishop Brazier Jr. We had his son here. On
Bishop Brazier's church is there because of Jeff Fort, brother.
I'm aware.
Yeah. And he's still eating today.
Apostolic Church.
Right? Apostolic is there. Leon's Barbecue. Finney. He existed because of Jeff Fort. Everybody played. It's a game of politics and chess, and Larry's no different. Jeff was an uneducated black man. Now, uneducated in the context of the societal
but not
understanding.
dumb, right?
But not dumb, right? But there are differences and there are nuances. So all those other men played paperwork. All those other men play strategy. All those other men play property.
Right.
All those other men play positioning. Jeff gets held with a bag. All those other men live out lifelong legacies of upstanding members of the community.
Mm-hmm.
But they sold that man down the river because they played the same game he played.
Sure, but I think for Jeff Ford to understand his role, he would also have to understand he was most vulnerable to the fall. Like, if we coming to get this, we're not gonna get the clergy. We're not gonna get the university. We got clergy, you got academics, and you got politics, and then you got the gangster.
But that's the narrative of man and human nature, right? Because he's qualifying his power through the lens of his world, and that's kind of what I mean. In his world, he is chief,
right? And
right?
in his world, he was
Larry's
most powerful.
He is chief,
most powerful,
right? But your world is confined through the blocks of Woodline. On the other side, your world is confined through the blocks of Inglewood.
Mm-hmm.
That ain't the world, bro. That's Inglewood and Woodlawn.
Right.
And once we put this shit on paper, and once we get the understanding, that's why I always bring it back to white supremacy. And that's where we as a populace can't grasp the concept. So even when I put up what I wrote, everybody who commented or responded was talking about the terrorist behavior sets that they think Larry enacted in our community. And I'm not even denying the fact that at some levels the Gangster Disciples are a terrorist organization, right? And so is the Blackstone Rangers. But again, I'd argue that every entity in the world is gang structured and oriented.
Agreed.
Right? So in that, there is violence.
Of course. Has to
right?
be.
In any context of a power conversation,
has to be.
Something's going to go awry. Right? Somebody's got to be on the downside of that, or there is no context of power.
But it's an easier sale if it's the street cats, right?
Yeah.
To the community,
That's what I'm saying.
Right? So to the segment of the black community who's not in the street. They ain't GD, they ain't Blackstone, right?
Mm-hmm. Even the segment that's in it.
But I mean specifically the segment that's not, right? I live in Woodline, I go to Apostolic, whatever, right? It's easier to say this issue is confined to Jeff Ford and his ignorant bullshit than to say Bishop Brazier be at the table with him and Leon, you know what I mean? Like it's easier to say that and get people to be like boom. And plus the earlier in the snake the government can cut it off, the further it is from them. So it's like, okay, if we keep this shit going, if we let it get to Brazier, then he takes it to University of Chicago and then they put it at our fucking front door. It was just a gang problem. It was just a gang. They were selling drugs and guns. It was just a gang problem. Mm-hmm. And he made it from 66th and Blackstone to
39th King Cottage
to Gaddafi.
Oh yeah, yeah, he did.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that's a wild story, but it's easier to sell and it's safer. Mm-hmm. Safer. And that's bullshit.
But all those men are guilty, right? And contextually, at the core of who I am, mm-hmm. this speaks to my issues with our community. Mm-hmm. Have you ever heard a statement like, "Oh, I love black people, but I hate niggas"? Yeah. Right? That's a colloquialism in our community.
Sure.
For me, it's very opposite. Mm-hmm. Oh, I love niggas. Black people disturb the shit out of me. Because for me, they're the more cunning, unrealistic, conniving, double-edged sword motherfucker.
Proximity.
The nigga is very blatant. Mm-hmm. You can understand the nigga if you can understand the nigga. Mm-hmm. That other person, though, you just can't trust it.
It's two sides.
It's a double-edged sword.
Yeah. I think the issue...
You can't serve two masters, B.
No, you can't, and you're trying to. And I think that's, for me, when we talk about those men being guilty, I disagree, man. I think the community failed them. And I think when the rubber met the road, everybody wanted their hand out the pot, even though everybody was eating out said pot just a week ago. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's like, no. If we're going to build Woodline or we're going to build Inglewood, then maybe that's the whole fucking world. You know what I'm saying? As far as we're concerned, that's the fucking world. Cool.
That'll make them none less guilty. I just say make all of them guilty.
No.
If that's the case.
Nah, what I'm saying is, if they're looking to build in earnest what they were trying to build, this self-sufficient, self-sustainable community, is there a criminal element to it? Sure it is. But we building our fucking community. Leave us the fuck alone. Godfather Harlem, the 4th season is out right now. Been watching that shit. And now Bumpy like, okay, I'm gonna stop selling dope. I'm gonna build this new Harlem that's just for us. And now all the Italians want in. You're like, no, this us. This leave us the fuck alone. We gonna do our shit. Me, the politicians, James Baldwin, like we.
I think that's a great example. Though, right? I'm a huge fan of Baldwin, huge fan of Malcolm, and those characters show up in the Godfather Harlem a lot. I haven't watched it.
Jesse Powell, like
I haven't watched it as in depthly as you have for this last
sure.
season, but Malcolm's dead now.
Yeah.
Right. And I have seen a scene or two where Bumpy's struggling with certain shit, and he's wishing to be able to talk to Malcolm. Right. He's wishing to be able to run this through Malcolm's ears and see what Malcolm would respond with. There's another part that I saw where James Baldwin had a certain perspective of Bumpy. Then Bump did some shit, and it changed his perspective.
Yep.
Right. Which he could appreciate. But without having that relationship or that interaction, his perspective of Bumpy is that one you were just talking about. It's easy to demonize this motherfucker.
Right.
Malcolm never looked at Bump through the lens of demonization because Malcolm has an understanding and relationship to that world. Now, reel that back in, and I'm not even going to say in real life because that shit there is still depicting a real life situation.
Sure.
Let's reel it in and push it back to Chicago. Right? Jeff for sure, right? Jeff for sure is the head of the snake for gang organizations and unifications in the city of Chicago. Larry is his child. He's his underling. That's the truth, right? Out of that came the main 21. If you know anything about gang culture in Chicago, those are the 21 leaders of all of the different fractions. All that shit came up under Jeff, right? But Jeff comes up under Fred Hampton. So you kill Fred Hampton, i.e. Malcolm.
Right.
You take away the political access. You take away the political apparatus, and you just have Bumpy. You just have the capitalist nature. You just have the the street advantage of people nature. You just have that, and you need that conjoinment to keep this shit balanced. And Jeff can respect Fred, and Bumpy can respect Malcolm because at their core, they both operated in the context of masculine men.
There's gumption there.
Yeah, we both gonna drag our nuts in the sand for what we believe in, right? You're gonna have to kill us both to step off of whatever it is we believe in,
right?
And we can see each other there, and we can respect each other there.
Yeah.
And I think what happens is that other fraction, that the community says, oh, I can easily see him as X, Y, Z. There's a level of cowardice there for me, right? There's a level of cowardice that one he's not gonna respect. The coward doesn't respect it either, but the coward is quantifying himself as right, when really the Jeffs or the Bumps, the Malcolms or the Freds are really protecting your essence now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So for me, it still goes back to what I said. I can identify the nigga. The nigga is very blatant and upfront. Malcolm was very blatant and upfront about my stance on it. Even in the context of white folks or the context of Elijah Muhammad. I don't fuck with this. I'm going to do me. Right? Whereas in context on the back end, that everybody else is just either going to fall in line, right? Which is at some levels a very cowardice nature to me, right? But when you pull that shit apart, you get a dysfunctional apparatus because it takes all of that to move the needle forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So
at the core, still white supremacy that keeps their foot on the button because this is what I said the other day. We keep playing for this kind of equitable conversation. Equitable conversations aren't at the core of solutions because they're just they're an abusive force, bro. They're like a parasite. They don't stop.
Yeah, but it's black alignment though that is my biggest issue with the whole thing.
But the alignment is through the lens of fear, and you need that agent just like anything else. If you got cancer, right? Most of your body's going to succumb to cancer unless you put an agent in there that says, wait a fucking minute. Right? Malcolm is the agent. Bumpy is the agent. They look very different, but they're both agents of propelling this parasite up off you.
I'm saying the collective black alignment to whiteness is what bothers me the most in the whole thing. Because you can be scared of the Stones and you can be scared of the folks all day. Right? there's a bigger enemy at play here, and I think that you would be best to figure out what Jeff Fort can do with Bishop Brazier to build a safe and peaceful community that we can all coexist in, whether you in the streets or you in the church, or both.
But that's why I push back, and this is gonna sound horrible, but it's not Bishop Brazier. You can't build it with Bishop Brazier. It has to be with Fred. It has to be with the likes of a Fred-minded person. Bishop Brazier is not that person. Bishop Brazier is part of the system of parasitic behavior. He's acceptable. That's why he can work with the other team. Right? Now, he might work with Jeff, but it's only to feed the same parasitic nature. Right? He's not a deterrent. It's a con.
I don't know. So I'm looking at it and say, okay, if Chairman Fred is the head of this part of it, this more digestible part of it, we feeding the community, we giving back, we doing this, we doing that, right? That part is more easily digestible. And if Bishop Brazier is also on that branch of the tree, what I'm saying is, sure, he's further down the rung than the chairman, but he's a part of that side of it. So for this particular neighborhood, Woodline, then he's that
context,
chapter head.
Context is everything, though, right? We're not in 1960s, 70s, none of that shit. So when we talk about Chairman Fred, we talk about him from a very idealized perspective, right? But we here with Minister Farrakhan. Do you think the vast majority of black people honor and respect Minister Farrakhan and see him as a force for good?
No. But I also look at it and say that he's in a different position because he didn't have the street side to roll with it.
Well, see, I disagree. I want to add another context to that, right? Farrakhan's 90. He just turned 90 last week, so happy birthday to the Mr. One.
Absolutely.
Right? But secondly, I don't know if you have context or remember this because you are 10 years younger than me. But young Farrakhan is much more Fred Hampton than 90-year-old Farrakhan.
Yeah.
Right? He was an outcast to the society. Black folk, the first Million Man March, black folks was like, they ain't coming to see him. They ain't going to go there and be with him.
But y'all did.
Right?
Yeah.
So even him, even in doing good, the representation of being anti-establishment to the vast majority of black folks is like, ugh. We idealize King. Nobody fucked with King when King was King.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody fucked with Malcolm when Malcolm was Malcolm. They was a brunt on the black guy in the community just like Larry and Jeff.
Right.
They were not the idealized characters that we see them as today. The church on 39th and King Drive legitimately changed his fucking address to the side door because he did not want to be relationship to King Drive. That was years after he died that they named that shit King Drive. Even then, he's still like, nah, I don't want to be on that street.
No, 100%. I feel you. And I've had people I trust, like elders that I trust and believe, told me there were 17 people in that church when Dr. King came. 17.
Yeah, I believe that.
I've met no less than 300 people who told me they were there. And it's like, you motherfuckers are lying.
Yeah, my dad said he saw him in Cole Park with about 15 people.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yeah, y'all lying. All y'all other hundreds of people, y'all lying. Y'all wasn't fucking with them, right? So
shit, man, you go to the Monster Day,
right?
Even with all of the love and adoration we put toward the minister. True story. Our Savior's Day this year was at the mosque because they couldn't afford the bigger stadium because they don't get the support. I'm stopping at the Herald's across the street because the minister was talking and I couldn't take no more. Nigga, you been up there for 5 hours.
The minister will go.
89 years old. You need a nap, nigga, because I need a nap.
He will go.
You understand what I'm saying? Gee, I go to Herald's.
Yeah.
It's a sister at Herald's that's from California, because she came to see the minister, right? They have a young police detail.
Oh, yeah.
Surveils the East Side community. 6 of them in there. They said, what's that across the street? First of all, you're the police, and this is your district. You don't even know what the fuck the mosque is. That's insane. She gets to mention in the minister, they say, who's that? You black. You 20-something. That's insane, fam.
You don't know what Savior's Day
That is insane to me.
Or that.
I sat there listening to that conversation and discussed. That is insane to me.
How about this? Savior's Day being what it is. How about that's not a topic at the precinct? Hey, Savior's Day is this weekend.
I don't
This
see
and
how
that's
it
gonna be
could
happening going on. We need to have this, that, and the third.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. There's a separation of ideals in the black community. I think that, as much as anything, is what keeps us from advancing. And I think that everybody has splintered ideas and factions of people who think it should be this way and that way. And it's like, I think all of them could work, but only if they had the buy-in of the whole community. I think 1,000% Larry Hoover, Jeff Ford, Chairman Fred Hampton Sr., I think they all could have had Black Chicago in such a healthy and good space. Is shit gonna happen? Yeah. This niggas gonna get greedy? Yeah. But I think by and large, with the structure of it all, Black Chicago would be in a much healthier space with those men having been at the helm for 50 years as opposed to murdered like chairman, assassinated like chairman, or thrown away
like Larry and Jeff. Yeah, I agree with you 100%, man. I align with the tenet that, there's no ill in our community that wouldn't be eradicated with the eradication of white supremacy. I align myself with that tenet, right? But I think one of the greatest impacts that white supremacy has had on our community is that it has emasculated us in a way that we don't even know what it really means to be man. We don't even really know what it means to be masculine, right? In my understanding, I go with the Amos Wilson philosophy that you must master the environment in which you inherit. And if we acknowledge that the environment that we have inherited is a war-torn environment, right? We are captives, right? We are enemies of the state just by being, surely by being born.
I'm going to pause you parenthetically because I think that's a step ahead. I think that's a step further than the quote we like more than anybody on here, which is until you fully understand white supremacy, what it is and how it works, everything else you think you know will only confuse you. And so if you don't have that part down, this idea of this war that we're in, this idea of being captives, what the fuck is that?
Yeah, and I think at the core of what war means, men traditionally have a role to play in it. And I think Malcolm represented that.
Yeah.
Right? I think Fred represented that. I also think Larry represents that.
Because they
understood
white
Jeff
supremacy,
represents
though.
that. Right? And I don't even know if they understood it. They just understand that they in the fuck position. I've been listening because of this Larry shit, right? The second in control, Ike, who was Larry's man, he has a story about his upbringing. And again, this is 67, 66. It's pre-us in any way. And he said his dad, I forget what he said, his dad used to deliver white liquor to the white folks on the north side. And he said he lived on 50 Inglewood somewhere. I don't know the exact block. But he said he had an in-house outhouse in his house at the time. So they had a toilet, but it didn't have any goddamn piping or plumbing. So you shit in it, then you take the bowl out and dump the bowl in the goddamn yard. In-house outhouse, right? But this was so normal, everybody in the neighborhood was rocking like this.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it was not like a thing. You know what I'm saying? So he says on the weekends he would go deliver alcohol with his dad to these wealthy north side people. And I don't even know if they was wealthy. They just might have been regular middle class white folks, right? But he said he got into them houses and he started recognizing the differences and wealth disparities. And this is from a very young mind, so he can't even have the language to leverage the difference.
Sure.
But it created a level of desire and anger in him. Right, and he has conversations, and again, context is everything, because they were all kind of running up under the May 21. They were all kind of running up under Fred Hampton. They were all kind of politically motivated, no matter what, in the beginning. There's like articles in what was the Society magazine of Larry and Ike being the next up-and-coming black leaders of Chicago. This shit existed, right? This is in print, so it wasn't always this very street nature culture thing attached to it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And again, it stripped us of our identity around what it means to be masculine, right? We don't stand on shit.
No.
We don't got no barriers around shit.
No.
Our women run our neighborhoods, and they ain't got no barriers around shit, and we got barriers around how we deal with them. This shit's out of whack. It's out of whack, G. And when you do stand up like a man, you look crazy. Because every man that I've ever known in our community that publicly stands up on some man shit today, right, is denounced by our community. So it's very interesting to me.
No, I just think you worshiping a different God. That's it. And you praying for some different outcomes in your own shit while it's feeding into the very thing that's causing the ill. And that's just a self-defeating prophecy. Let's just get this out the way. I'm pretty sure we both feel the same way about this, but because I'm sure the conversation will arise, is there anything that Larry Hoover could do if he came home tomorrow, to drop him off on 69th and Ashland tomorrow? Any difference could be made?
I tell you what's gonna happen. He's gonna get a big public money bag, or at least whatever he's associated with is gonna get a big public money bag, right? But no,
right.
So I'm closer to the essence than you are, just by the mere sheer fact of being older than you, right? My dad was a very, very well-known photographer, right? My godfather was a very, very high-powered lawyer, right? So they worked on the original case. So I had photographs of Hoover because of who my daddy is. I remember talking to my homies who was GD to the world below us.
Right.
And they didn't even know what he looked like. Right? And I'm talking about then, when they carrying it like that. You know what I mean? So the lure of a Larry Hoover, the lure of, man, just like anything else, man, one, young men are easily radicalized because they want to be a part of something. That's one. And most of the times, the things they want to be a part of is shit that kind of exudes masculinity, i.e. basketball, i.e. football, i.e. gang culture. We'll whoop your ass. We're better than you. That is the nature of man. You know what I mean? But it wasn't Larry's doing. It was the damn narrative of. It was the nature of, right? Yeah. It ain't the football coach's doing. It's the lure of the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I feel you, man. And just me having some of the old heads that I got, like one of my old heads, he's 60. If he came through that door right now, he would open the door, stop at the opening, throw up the rakes as hard as he could, both hands, be like, GD's in the house, and then he would come in. Like, he's that type. He's also best friends with Lil Larry, not book writing Lil Larry, Lil Larry. You know what I'm saying? So just having been around them, and I've been in Mama Hoover house and had conversations with her, and it's, I think that you had people who believed in something in a different way. You know what I'm saying? And whether the moves is right or wrong, when you believe in something, you carry it a certain way, you stand on it a certain way. I just don't think that really, exists no more. I don't know, man. Listen, I think he deserves to come home, if for no other reason than he's paid his debt to society.
Yeah, I agree with that too.
You know what I mean? If for no other reason than he's paid his debt to society, I think he deserves to come home. What that looks like and how, and I don't really know. I thought we needed to discuss it because some people think like, oh, they freed Larry, and not really. I mean, he still got I think they gave him like 200 state years. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
nigga got something like what, 6 life sentences?
Some wild shit.
It's something crazy.
Some wild shit. He had like 200 or 300 state years, you know, from the initial case. So that is what it is, man. Anything else before we get up out of here?
No, not really. I gotta go to the bathroom so we can close this out.
I gotta go to the bathroom so we can close this out. Well, once again, man, happy Pride Month. Be you.
You ever go show the crowd your pride tattoo you got on your chest?
Nah, I'm not. Keep the hell on the low. We gotta go, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning into this conversation. Free the boss. And since we talked about chairman all the whole show, free them all. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. Please make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, and share with at least one person that you think would enjoy this particular piece of conversation. Shout out to P.I. He is doing all of the hard work. P said he had to go get a t-shirt because he had on a hoodie today, and it was about 85, 90 degrees.
At that gas station, $2 holla on.
You gotta do it. I don't know how much gas station t-shirts are no more.
They not $2. They just
ain't nothing. Ain't nothing $2 no more.
$2, nigga.
Should have say $2 on the side of the package, and
they
be
still
$2.
charge you more than that.
Like, I don't think Arizona ever changed the 99 cent off their thing, and now it's like $2.49.
You can fight that. Under that, we're gonna get out of here.
Bait and switch.
I argue today, nobody should use their goddamn debit card in a Habibi gas station anymore.
Why?
Because I saw a report the other day. You know how they got the fake credit joints?
Oh, they swiping and scamming.
How prevalent it is. Mm-hmm. And they talking about how many millions of dollars they hitting people for over the course of a year with dollar transactions, 15-cent transactions. I was discussing, and I know how criminal they are in our neighborhood in general. Yeah. So I don't put it past very many of them.
Not at all.
You know what I mean?
I remember Walmart did that for a penny. Every customer. Walmart hit everybody for a penny. Can you imagine how much money that is?
Crazy work.
Walmart hit everybody for a penny.
And we mad at Larry and Jeff.
Come on, man. Free them all. We got to go.
Except for Walmart and Habibi stores. Lock their ass up.
I remember I was like 18, 17, 16. I don't know. I had to go to summer school at CVS. And
you went to summer school a lot, G.
No, I went to night school.
You went with a young, but you wasn't out with a young student.
I played football and talked to girls. That is what I did.
This nigga stupid.
I did.
We just want Ron on our basketball team.
So Ron was gone, but I can still throw a football. So, you know,
the things you got for being Ron's little brother.
There were some benefits. That wasn't it. But I had to do enough to stay eligible. So night school, summer school. This is what I did. Anyway, one day I'm at summer school at CVS, and because I'm certainly the smartest person in this summer school class at CVS,
you shit on CVS like that? CVS alumni, do you think you're smarter than her? Let's have a poll.
Maybe the ones that wasn't in summer school. But if you were in summer school at CVS, I was smarter than you. Nigga, we in there. The teacher keep asking me all the questions because I know all the questions, right? And I'm spending most of the time in the back arguing with the football niggas from CVS because they're in there too. But we played them the second game of every year all through the time when I was in high school. So we talking shit about last year's game, whatever. Anyway, he asked me something. The teacher did, and I go into the answer, as eloquently as I can as a Whitney Young Dolphin, and I go something,
not eloquently,
and I'm reading something like, well, maybe I wasn't even reading. Either way, I said the Arabs, and I just said it like that's where it belongs.
He didn't like the Arab word,
and he was like, that's not how you say that.
Arab.
I'm so fucking confident in myself about everything I said in this classroom.
Right.
I don't say what like that. I don't even think about the Arab word.
I'm not a CVS student.
Come on. Hey.
I go to school in Jackson with the whites.
Not at the time. A few.
It's the whites. That was the whites. Whenever there's a spring of whites there, it was the whites.
23 students got a perfect score in the SAT.
I wonder when they're going to pull up the cheating reports.
I saw the picture. They was
somebody cheated, bro. Everybody don't get a perfect score.
One black kid. I said, damn.
No, it was more than one black kid.
No, I saw the picture.
I saw a whole different thing then because I saw a bunch of black kids.
No, I saw the picture of the 23 kids.
Yes, so they are a white school for sure.
I was like, damn. But yeah, 30.
They still cheated.
23 students that when you got a perfect SAT score. Anyhow, 36.
They didn't get caught yet, y'all. They gonna get caught eventually.
Point is, he was like, you can't. He was like, it's Arabs, and I was like, what? What's it? I was 17 years old when I found out Arabs was not an official word.
So I rock that as just the Chicago accent. Hey, Arabs. You know what I mean?
That's all we called it. It was Arabs.
Yeah.
And because Whitney Young was black at the time, we didn't really have those conversations for real.
And we didn't even call them Arabs, Arabs. We just said, buddy.
All right. That's two. I'm her. Yeah, we get to each other.
Buddy!